Hanging by the door were a dozen old caps, some faded, some looking brand new. One came down for fishing at sunrise, one for a hard day's work to do. One came down for backyard football, one for Sunday's family ride. Back then they were just hats on a hook, now I see the man inside. Some were stained by sweat and hard work, some were weathered by the years. Some carried laughter through the good times, some carried burdens through the tears. I thought they were just caps hanging by the door. Now I know they represented every role my father wore. Some were worn thin, some were worn proud, but everyone belonged to the man who showed me how.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, son.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gentlemen's Roundtable. We got a special episode tonight. I know we're a few days past Father's Day, but Father's Day did not fall on a Tuesday this year. But I am Reviews a Moose. I have got my epic trilby cap on, fedora, and I have one daughter and one child only, and that's pretty much my story. Go ahead, Ed.
What's up, everybody? Ed the tax guy over here. I am wearing today my Sarkowski Cotton Shelby.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Hello. I have kids too. I got two daughters in college. Two amazing young women in college right now, which I'm very, very happy to talk about today.
I'm Chad, First 508th Airborne on YouTube. I'm wearing the Peaky Hat Rev Solo, and I've got 6 kids, 3 biological daughters, 1 biological son, and 2 stepsons.
Dubs.
Name's Brandon. You can find me at Dubs Hat Hub. I'm wearing the Peaky Hat with all today. I got 2 boys, age 17 and 20, and they are making me an old man now these days. So, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Anox. I'm wearing the charcoal plaid flat cap. You can get on my website, anoxunbox.com.
And we can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
I can hear you.
I can
I
hear
got
you.
you.
I can't hear me?
Too.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's weird. I
Ed,
can't hear him.
tell him try to go out and come back in.
Ed, go ahead and drop and then come back in, bud.
All right, let me do that.
All right, go ahead.
And,
Go ahead.
Yes, and I have 2 kids. I have a 16-year-old son who's going into junior year of high school, 11-year-old daughter who just graduated elementary school, going into middle school next year.
Nice.
Well,
Sweet. All right, let me go and get these
Guys,
orders
not gonna be
back
able
up
to hear
here.
anybody, Clark. Can you hear anybody
You hear us,
now?
Ed?
I hear everybody. Can you hear me?
All right,
Yep.
perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right,
Can you
so
hear
tonight's episode is obviously what's that, Ant?
Can Ed hear Dubs?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear everybody.
Okay.
I'm good.
We're back in business, man.
So
I was saying
what it is
before,
that,
this cap you can find on anoxunbox.com. There you go. The good cap.
There you go.
Ed stole my mojo there.
Not bad,
Go
not
ahead,
bad,
bro.
not bad.
This is about the kids, not the caps. Let's go.
There you go.
So first of all, I want to tell you guys happy, obviously Father's Day, past tense, and one of the things that make us, I guess, kind of grow up in life is becoming a father, right? So what I'm asking is everybody is like, what in your life changed once you became a father, and like your priorities that had to change? And I'm just curious what everybody's. I'm sure we're all going to have different answers here. I'll let Ed go first.
All right. So for me, my wife and I, we always refer to each other as post high school sweethearts because we actually met in college. and we got married 3 years after we started dating. So our first daughter was born. I was about 23 years old when our first daughter was born. So I jumped into fatherhood really early in life. And not only was that wake up call where all of a sudden, my friends are partying and BSing, and I'm here, my wife and I are just being responsible human beings because we have a child. But our child was born preemie with some health issues and stuff. So that we got fast tracked into adulthood and responsibilities and what the F right away. And it really changed our outlook on life, because all of a sudden we went from being like post college students to all of a sudden we're parents, and we're in doctor's appointments, and especially living in New York City, like we're jumping on a subway or taking a cab to a doctor's appointment, and now we got to drop the baby off so we because we still have to show up to work and things like that. So it was a reality check very early in life.
Yeah, I hear that.
Chad?
Uh, what exact? So what did you just want me to tell about how it changed me?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my first wife I met in the Army, and we were both in the Army, and she got pregnant and got out on a pregnancy discharge. And after she had the baby, I had planned on making the Army my career. And after she had the baby, she kind of wigged out and had a lot of postpartum issues. And she took off and left me with a 4-month-old baby to raise myself. And so my whole life changed. Then you can't be an infantry paratrooper and be a single father. And so I had to get out of the Army and find a job with health insurance, because I lost that once I got out of the military. But my daughter at 4 or 5 months old was having problems with tubes. She needed tubes in her ears because of ear infections and that. And so, yeah, that was my introduction to fatherhood. Everything kind of changed. I had to learn how to take care of a baby by myself right away. It was a stressful time.
Dubs?
My current wife's my mulligan wife. We've been married for 29 years.
Yeah, for me, it made me less selfish, way more selfless, and it made me more mindful of time, especially the time that I give to people. Plus, time is short. You only have so much time to give your children, and you're balancing the acts of life and jobs, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, man, it definitely made me less selfish, I guess.
Yeah, I
Cool.
mean, yeah, that moment when my son was born, my first child, and I held him and he looked at me,
Thanks,
that was the most clarity that I ever had in my life. That was the most present I ever was in a moment. So
Yeah.
that moment to me changed everything, because I thought to myself, whatever I did before this led me here. Now is my purpose in life. Now everything changes. So even my mistakes,
Yeah.
anything I had done in the past somehow led me here. So that was the moment where it was a clean slate moment, no regrets at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because I wound up in that spot, and that's where I needed to be. So that created such a clarity, for me moving forward. Now, not that you don't screw up as a dad and try too hard and stuff like that, and we talk about that at another time, but I think for me, it gave me more clarity in life from that moment on.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy
And
you said that about the
I
eye connection, because I have that in my notes about the first time my kid laid eyes
Yeah.
on me, and that connection, dude, it was so unreal. And I'm sitting
Yeah.
there thinking what do I do now?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? And it's a good moment, dude.
And it just comes natural, and
Yeah.
it's just that eye connection, was it just an
Yeah.
incredible thing.
Yeah, and for me, it was, me being athletic, playing sports, football, and all that stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have a boy, And then when the wife told me that we're having a girl, I was like, well, that's a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But then,
At least you're
like you
honest.
said, like once she was born, she had me wrapped around her finger right from then and there.
Yeah.
There you go.
And my priorities changed. I always, after, once I found out, I was like, my goal was always to be a better father than what my father was. And my father was pretty damn good. So it was, I had high expectations of myself, and, I was sacrificed the life for the first 8 years my daughter was born. I was pretty busy with work, but I sacrificed everything I could to put her in a situation for her to be successful. And, that was my goal, is always to get her in a position to where she's able to conquer whatever she wants to do in life. But yeah, that's basically my priorities were no more old moose, and now a mature moose. Yeah. So, my temper and everything had to take a step back, and, sometimes that does, some people poke the bear, but it was definitely life-changing. And, I can honestly say that, I don't know where I would be without her, to be honest with you. What kind of direction in life would I have? Even though she's 26 years old now, it's crazy. And it goes by in an instant. Make those memories while you can, fellas, because
it does, man. It does.
Yeah, it goes by in an instant. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask a question to the people watching here first, and then I'll just read some of the things that are going on. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the segments here. And do you want to know? Did you guys want to just do each segment individually, or do you want to just hashtag each one all together? We forgot to talk about that on the pre-show.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean hashtag?
Like as far as like I share my story, then Ed, then Chad, then Ant, and then we just rehash everything all at the end.
Yeah,
that's probably easy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do a little something different on the Gentleman's Roundtable tonight. We actually got for myself and Ant, we got a video, but my daughter was born in June of 2000, and I already hit on some of it about how it changed my life. And I always put her in a position to where my wife and I both, we put her in a position to where it's up to her to be successful. I'm huge into goals, setting goals in life, goals every year. Even with my job now, I set goals weekly. And I instilled that into my daughter. My wife's the same way. She's definitely goal driven as well. And so the first 8 years, I've mentioned this before, first 8 years of her life, I was so busy with work, I was never home. Okay, with work. And my wife had to come to Jesus talk with me. And it was either take a step back or I'm losing half of everything. And it got to that point to where I was like, all right. So we decided to go from Michigan to South Carolina and take a step back a little bit. And best decision I ever made. My daughter, on her 9th birthday, she decided she wanted to have a birthday at a bowling alley. All right. I bowled when I was younger, but we never went to a bowling alley since so she ended up going. The next thing else, she wanted to go every 2 weeks. And and then she started bowling in a league. And then she was watching YouTube videos of other female bowlers, Shannon O'Keefe, and mimicking their moves and finding out how to improve. And that's why I said it was goal. And then is like everything was goals. So her goal was just to be one of the best person in the league for a female bowler. And so then it went from that to, she's like, Dad, I want to do this a lot. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, we'll invest our time and money, but you got to take it serious. I had to come to Jesus talk with her. I was like, if this is what you want to do, I'm going to put you in a situation where you can be as successful as I can make you, but it's up to you to be as successful as you can be. And so she joined a league. She was like 10 years old when she joined her first league. And she started off with like a 96 average at the beginning. And she ended up averaging like 110 when she was 10 years old. And so then it just got a bit more and more. And then she's like, well, yeah, 12 years old, she started getting where she was having like a 180 average. And she's like, well, I want to get in a tournament. I was like, really? So, okay. So we got her in her first couple tournaments. She finished she didn't make the cut the first couple tournaments she made it. But then she drove her more to practice, work hard to improve. By the time she was 12 years old, at the end of almost 13 years old, she entered a TSR tournament, which is a bowling tournament in South Carolina, in North Carolina, and Virginia. And she ended up winning. She averaged 220 for the tournament, and there was college bowlers in the tournament at 12 years old. She was the youngest bowler ever to win the tournament. And then from there, that's when spotlight started getting on, and she started entering tournaments all over the country. And by the time she graduated high school, she was the number one recruit in the country. She ended up going to Wichita State. Her freshman year at Wichita State, they had the top 5 freshmen in the country was a part of that class. So they had the top 5 recruits going to Wichita State in the same year. First year, they ended up losing in the Final Four. Second year, they made it back to the Final Four, and it got canceled because of COVID.
Oh, man.
Okay. So third year, she ended up getting 5 years eligibility. Third year, she her league average, like right now, I think her league average is like 235. But her third year, she had one of the best seasons in college bowling history. She was bowler of the year in college. She won the national championship. And I'm going to go ahead and share the video of what she had to do to win the national championship. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video right now.
Talk about clutch. Shockers a 247 max score here. Aggies 237. 2 strikes and 1. You can see it. Madison Janik, Team USA National Player of the Year. Opportunity here. Here's the first. Got it. All important first strike, Kelly.
Yeah, Dave, like I said, that 5th frame when she pounded the pocket and crushed the pins back, that was a professional moment right there for the first one. Can she duplicate it? One more strike and 1 pin, wow, and they will shut out North Carolina A&T.
Eric Lewis, Holly Harris telling us they've never been around a more powerful bowler than Madison Janik, and here she is with a chance to win the national championship and the Helmer Cup. Here it is. A strike does it. 7-pin late. Madison Janik strikes for Wichita State. 1 pin away from a national championship. What a shot. Incredible.
Watch this shot, Dave. Really great projection. Hand gets around the ball. The light shakers have fallen for them almost all night long. Trip 4 shaker strikes. Just enough kick from the head pin to kick out the 7.
Look at those happy Shockers. Wow. Just has to keep it on the lane, and the Shockers have won the national championship. She does that. Wichita State has won its record 10th ITC Women's National.
Yeah, so that was probably the proudest moment.
She only needed 1 pin when she got the strike anyway.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. That's
that
crazy seeing with all the masks, bringing me back to that time with all the masks and everything.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It was
Very
it's
cool.
Biggest con in human
sucked.
history.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but it was sucked because like I was there when that happened, but I was watching in the bar because we couldn't go in there because of COVID.
Oh man.
So I was watching on the TV in the bar,
and that sucks,
and with a couple of the other parents, and but it was definitely the proudest moment athletically I've had with my daughter. But you know, she is now a teacher. The lady that was doing the announcing of that she actually bowls with her on the tour now, and actually bowled against her last week. So it was it was pretty cool experience. But now she's a teacher. Like I said, she teaches at a private school here in Wichita. Her husband now, he actually bowled for Wichita as well. He is actually a PBA. He had a champion. He won a tournament this year as well. And they just left today to go on their honeymoon, even though they were married last September. They just now flew off to go to London. Then they're going to go to Amsterdam and then to Paris for a couple of weeks. But
Nice.
yeah, so it was a proud parent, but I'm more proud of her as a human she is than what she ever did on the lanes. And so that's pretty much my story. And and I see Dennis made a comment. Yeah, we're from Myrtle Beach, and he's seen Madison Bowl, and when she was living in Myrtle Beach, and it was fun. But she holds the state record for South Carolina for the highest average in a season, highest series for a youth. I think she did when she was like 15 years old, and she shot at 833. She shot back-to-back 300s and a 233 for the break the record for a youth series of all time. But
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, growing up, didn't you say your grandfather owned a bowling alley or something like that?
He ran the bowling alley, yes. And I used to get dropped off the bus there back in the day at Lodge Lanes in Belleville, Michigan. And so bowling's in the blood.
Yeah,
I mean, once I turned 18 years old, I was like, I didn't pick up a ball for 20 years until she talked me into bowling a league. And I was like, all right. But yeah, it's like I had she just was self-taught, how to for what she was able to do. But so that's pretty much it. My wife and I are extremely proud of her, and it's and once she moved out and once she grew up, I looked at my wife and I was like, I got to learn to love you again, because I'm so used to everything revolving around Madison.
Yeah,
and
that's big too. We spoke about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a different time, because like every one of our weekends we're always going to some tournament somewhere else, or and now it's like we don't travel. Now I went to Indianapolis last week to watch her bowl, but it's not like every weekend anymore. But so you got to find something to fill that void, especially when your kids are grown and move out, and it's tough.
For sure.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. All right, Ed.
Well, Moose, I gotta say, this is probably the third time I've seen that video of Madison bowling, and I was still like, yes. First time watching. Well, my daughters aren't athletes. They're actually.
You want me to go ahead and share the picture now, Ed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
This was I shared it with Aunt. It's actually a vacation photo of us in Dominican Republic a few years ago. It's one of our favorite family photos. We actually have it framed in our house and all that. Right on the ocean. We were actually on we were on a dock. We were about to get on a boat to go do like one of those like water tours things out there. And everybody loves this photo of us. It was just a good time. And most of the photos I have, like group wise, are always like on vacation somewhere.
Yeah, it's a great pic.
But yeah, actually, my daughters are 21 and 19, similar to how Dub's kids are like within that same bracket. But like I told you guys before, when my first daughter was born a preemie, we health issues. The first 30 days we were in the hospital. She was in the NICU, and that was really a crash course for us on parenthood. Right, my wife was in the hospital the entire time. Hell, she was working remote before that was even a thing, because she worked for our daughter's pediatrician. So they literally she needed things to do while she was in the hospital with the baby. So she just got a laptop and she'd work on medical billing for the office while also tending to my daughter and stuff. Because there was only so much you could do while the baby was in the NICU. But our life revolved around, all right, I'd get out of work, I'd go to the hospital, spend as many hours as I could with her. Then when we had to leave, and it was heartbreaking, right? My wife and I had to leave at night, go home, come back the next morning, right back. It was like pulling shifts at the hospital. But it really molded us, not only us as parents, but it molded our relationship, and it just got stronger and stronger dealing with hardship, right? So once the girls were, second daughter was born, things just kind of leveled out for us. Kids are in school, and like Mo said, it's like your life revolves around what's the next activity, what's the next event, and every weekend was something going somewhere with them or with the family, whatever the case is. My eldest daughter is very very good artist. She loves fashion, she loves design, and she started showing signs of that very early. And my younger daughter was more into very musically inclined, was more into dance, and then eventually picked up an instrument. So by middle school, she actually learned, she joined the marching band for her middle school in New York City and started playing the trumpet. Now, one of the things I'm really proud of when it comes to her, she didn't know how to read sheet music. She knew how to, she had the ear for it. She could follow along and learn the songs just based on like her ear, but because she couldn't read the sheet music. And when we moved out here to Long Island, the high school, Newfield High School, where they ended up going, had they had a concert band. They had a couple of different bands, different levels. Like so, from freshmen all the way to seniors, they had different levels of band depending on kids, experience and levels of with their instruments. She made it onto the freshman band, which was a concert band, and she said, I really want to play the trumpet here. And I told her because she got on late, I had to buy her a trumpet. They didn't have a loaner instrument in the school. And I told her, listen, this is not cheap. I'm investing in this. You have to make a promise that you're going to learn to read sheet music and you're going to take this seriously because I'm forking up hundreds of dollars for this instrument. And it's not going to be a passing thing, right? And she didn't disappoint. Not only did she like refine her skills as a trumpet player, but then she started, because she was around other instruments, she's like, I really want to learn the baritone sax. And her musical director told her, well, you're going to have to do that on your own time because I need you to focus on trumpet. And over the course of 4 years in high school, she went from, I think, being like fourth or fifth trumpet, earned the first spot, first trumpet
Nice.
on band, and then also on the side started learning the damn sax while extracurricular activity after school, joined a drum club and learned to play the drums.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so by the time she graduated from high school, she was part of the National Honor Society of Music. And again, it became one of those things where it's like most parents are taking their kids to sporting events. I'm taking her to auditions, right, for different
Right, right.
for stuff like this. So that it was great. This kid multi-discipline, learned different instruments. Now she's in college and she's working, and she took that discipline and went from working as like a cashier at a store. Now she's like the supervisor. She's 19 years old and she's supervising adults. Like who the hell does that? You know,
Dude,
while still going.
I give her big props on the band thing because not only are you playing music and all that, you got to do the field stuff and the dance, all that at the same time, man. That's crazy. It
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
takes mad skill.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we started going to like the football games for Newfield High School and the baseball games wherever the band was performing. They we'd be there. We'd be there as band parents, not as
Yeah.
athlete parents, which is
I
so
talked to
funny.
a lot of the band parents, bro,
Yeah.
at the games.
Uh, then on the flip side, like my older daughter was more of the rebel, right? Like she very very artistic, art driven and stuff, but she did things her own way, right? So when we were still living in the city, um, I personally actually went to art school when I started off in art school, then eventually, because I was a damn screw up, I got into one of like the neighborhood schools, and I didn't follow through with my passion, which was art at the time. But she had the passion, and she really wanted to get into. There were two schools in the city: the High School of Fashion, and there's the High School of Art and Design in New York City. Because like even my wife started to mention, she was like, listen, this kid is trying to follow in your footsteps. Make sure she does it right. And I would take her to the auditions because you have to put together a portfolio and present it and blah 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 and all this stuff, different types of art form. And I was becoming like that helicopter dad. I was always on top of her and making like, you got to do this many pieces, you got to refine your talent and blah blah blah. And she just looked at me like, screw you, I'm not doing shit. And it became so frustrating because I felt like, okay, I'm acting like a dance mom right now. I'm forcing my Showtime dreams onto my kid, and I had to pump the brakes and take a step back. I was like, you know what? If you're gonna pursue a career or at least high school education in the arts, you're gonna have to do it on your own. She didn't disappoint. She actually put together her portfolio on her own. She worked with her guidance counselor and she got into the high school she wanted. She made it on. She wanted to start learning about like fashion and design and stuff. And she had freshman year there, and then COVID happened, and we bought a house on Long Island. We moved out, and it was so disappointing because she didn't want to leave that school. But remote learning was only for that year, and we couldn't commute into the city every day to go to high school. Fortunately, she did have a good art program at Newfield, but it wasn't the same for her. But I did see her put her passion into like other venues, right? And one of the things that I did was she got really good with like social media and designing posts and all this stuff. I said, you know what? I'm starting my own business, the tax business. Why don't you handle my social media? Why don't you handle my marketing? Start putting together the posts for me. Do something creative that's going to draw attention to my page. And I literally hired her, started paying her, a fee. I told her, I'll pay you this much for every post you put together. And it was really like, it really motivated her, inspired her. And she started putting together like these beautiful like Instagram posts and Facebook posts and stuff and helping. And I'd give her stuff that other people were doing. Like, right, how can you make this, like refine it, make it make sense for me and my page. And this kid, I started downloading all those apps for her, and she just went crazy with creating designs and creating posts using like Canva and Adobe and all these different programs. And now she's actually studying retail management and marketing because her goal is, even though she didn't make it into fashion as a designer, he's like, there's other ways of getting into the fashion industry. So kudos for her. She being a rebel, she's also a more independent one, did everything her way. While my other daughter is very regimented, very much like, step one, do this, step two, do that, step three, this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm getting the best of both worlds.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's crazy how you guys both
Yeah.
mentioned COVID in there, how COVID affected things in there,
Oh man, so that was
Yeah.
the wrench in the system, man,
Yeah,
for sure.
right.
Yeah, when COVID rolled around, I'm glad my daughter was in college and
Mhm.
not like in elementary, or because it really screwed up the
Oh,
learning
man, that
system.
was,
For sure.
yeah, that's another show, but well, we'll go to Chad now because I can go
Yeah.
off the days about that shit.
All right, Chad.
Yeah, as far as my highest point as a father, my favorite accomplishment. I've raised 6 kids. There isn't any one accomplishment from one of them that I would hold up over the others. It's been a great experience raising them all. All of them have their strengths and weaknesses. My youngest son is 24. My oldest stepson is 42. So we've got a pretty big range. Our 3 oldest are married. Both my stepsons and my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter also has a daughter. The other 3, one of my daughters lives in Florida, another one in Wisconsin, and then our youngest son, Max, lives here. He's the guy you always see walking out the door
Yeah.
behind me, typically at
That's what I was going to ask
8:30
you.
in the streets.
Who lives with you now? I was going to ask. So that's Max.
Yeah, he still lives with us, and he's a big
Cool.
help around the house. He helps us with the dogs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He's a good kid. But as far as I don't have any one like high moment. that I would really list. And if I did, just out of respect to the other kids, I wouldn't want to elevate that moment over the other ones. Again, having raised 6 kids, you got to learn to kind of weigh all those things. And, I love all of them, and all of them have had wonderful things that I've experienced with them. I'll leave it at that.
Well, yeah. Well, not only have you raised 6 kids, but during that time, how many dogs have you had? Because those count as kids sometimes too.
I'm a retired animal warden, and I've also done rescue work for years. So I've, before my injury, I used to take in dogs, problem dogs from bull breeds and pit bulls, and I would re-socialize them and then find appropriate homes for them. So I've had dozens of dogs go through here over the years with the kids. So yeah.
How many dogs you got now?
I have 6 shepherds and a couple Yorkies.
Holy shit! Yeah, I didn't know you had 6 shepherds. Oh my god!
Yeah, I have a multiple animal permit, so I can have up to 8 dogs.
Right. I saw those Yorkies freezing their nuts off in -40.
Yeah, the Yorkies are 14. Your kids were growing up, old.
When your kids were growing up with all the dogs, I mean, when I grew up, we had I think our dog died when I was like 10. So it was like we never had anything, but it was like, how much of a factor did dogs have with helping raise it, like as far as keeping the kids occupied and things like that? I'm just curious.
Well, as far as it gave the kids a chore that they had to do, growing up, they had chores around the house, and sometimes that chore might be, I'd like you to spend 20 minutes here or there socializing and playing with the puppies. I mean, it's not really that big a chore, but when you've got litters of little puppies and that, and you've got kids that you can let play with them. I mean, that's just a wonderful thing for socializing them and stuff, is just having kids handle them and be loud and stuff like that around them and stuff. So they helped me a lot over the years with all that.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of cool, because like I said, I didn't have that. My daughter
they've seen litters being born. They've got a pretty cool experience. Yeah. Almost like a kid growing up on a farm.
Experience.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. I mean, just to be able to see, like, because basically it's like, I mean, with them helping with the dogs, it's kind of like, it's not like you said, it's teaching the responsibility as well with chores and everything else. Yeah. So it's like kind of building. It's like a built-in, like, chore person. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, teaching responsibilities. Wow, that's. I didn't know you had 6 either. I knew you had a few.
Yeah, I didn't know 6.
When like I said, I ended up getting out of the Army because after my wife had my first daughter, the first couple of months she had evidently a lot of weird postpartum issues that she just kind of wigged out and took off, and so I had to get out of the Army and to take care of my daughter. And while I was out, I was at my employer. I met my current wife. I call her my Mulligan wife after the Mulligan episode. We've been married 29 years, but at that time I was raising my daughter myself, and she had 2 boys. I think they were 5 and 9 at the time that she was raising herself. And kind of like a mini Brady Bunch, we got together and we ended up having 2 more between us. And the rest is history. My wife's 2 years older than me. I'm 59. She's 61. And so my oldest stepson's only 16 years younger than me. So we're pretty close in age. He's 42. So
yeah, he's like 4 years younger than me.
Yeah, and some of my favorite videos that you've posted, Chad. One of my favorites is when you de-shed the dog. That's pretty cool. And then, but when you guys when you and your wife go to those fairs and you guys do all that eating stuff, those are great ones.
Yeah, the Minnesota State Fair is always something we enjoy going to every year. The Red Fest too. We go more for the food than the rides, and then we also like to people watch a lot. So, and here in Minnesota, you have so many different kinds of people. There's always somebody interesting to watch, walking around. And at the fair, the the people who always shouldn't be wearing the skimpiest clothes are the people who are. And so it's always pretty entertaining, you know. So
Oh, you get that there too?
Dude,
You get that there too?
I just get that all over the U.S. So.
Yeah. Oh, Myrtle Beach during
Just like if you go to a nudist beach, it's always the people you never wanted to see naked
Yeah,
walking around
absolutely.
naked there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's funny you said that because in Myrtle Beach during bike week, you know, you got girls that'll
man.
have thongs on the back of the bike, and you're hoping that you're seeing like models. No, you're seeing some girl that weighs pushing 300 pounds wearing a thong. You're like, what the hell? You know. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna just sidetrack real quick. One of the funniest stories I've ever seen is Myrtle Beach Bike Week, when you get tourists coming in, they have no idea it's Memorial Weekend, that there's a bike week going on. And
Oh,
one
shit.
time my wife and I we're people watching, and this guy's sitting at the light with his family. It's a white guy, his wife, and 2 kids in the back seat. And he's got bikes both on his side with girls wearing thongs. And he's just sitting in his car like, he's just shocked at what's the hell's going on. Culture shock. He had no idea it was bike week. Yeah, it was so funny. But
I want to get my
I'm sorry
wife
to
one
get
of these years to drive to Dakota and go to Sturgis just for the people
Sturgis.
watching, you know, and just
Sturgis
it's fun
is
to
a wild
shoot
one.
a video for the YouTube channel for it, you know. Just
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
oh yeah, people
That'd be
love
great,
that.
bro. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Chad at Sturgis, bro. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
oh, you know, it's not
Yeah.
that far a drive from here either, so maybe I'll do it this year.
Yeah,
What is that?
that'd
About
be
10-hour
great.
drive?
Yeah, I know, probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be a pretty cool trip.
yeah.
That's a
That would be.
that's a good day.
What do you guys
trip,
want to
man.
go with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Chad, if I met up with you, we probably wouldn't make it home. We'd go to jail.
I'd have to trail my Harley out there. It's a far away though.
But that is a good idea. You should take your wife out there and put some videos up on YouTube. That'll
Yeah,
watch
okay.
it
I
for real.
thought it'd be fun. It's just like our state fair videos. I'm sure we'd have a great time, and again,
Oh,
the
yeah.
people watching would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Oh, that's great. Chad, we know you just from here, and to get your background and everything. I mean, we've had discussions in the past, but you're just we appreciate you here on the Gentleman's Roundtable, and we're glad you're a part of it.
Thanks.
You're a great
I've
man.
enjoyed my time here.
Yeah, that's one thing I said about this episode. We're going to learn a little bit more about each other today. I said before we went live, not even realizing it. We're together a lot, but there's so much about each other we don't know, Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Ant.
Yeah, so
How does
I
he
mean-
follow? How does he follow how does he follow you and your thong story now, man?
yeah. Thanks for that difficult segue, But yeah, so I mean, like Moose was saying about having that first kid, and I was the same way. I'm like, am I gonna have like an athlete or whatever? So my son was born, and obviously I had a daughter later on, so I had that experience as well. But I think it's important that when they're younger, to throw everything at them, like throw all the sports at them, throw the music at them, like Ed was saying, all the different things, and see what sticks, because they're not us, right? So a lot of us are like, oh, I'm going to have this little miniature version of me,
Yeah.
so that's not it. They're their own people,
Yeah.
a different person, than you are. So that's sort of a realization you have over time. So I threw everything at the kid, and he was game for everything. You want to play baseball? Sure. You want to play football? Sure. He's out there with the gear on. He did everything: soccer, basketball, all that. I was more of a basketball player. He was not good at basketball, so I had to realize, okay, he is not me. He is more of kind of a brute sort of athlete, like so. But baseball was always a huge struggle for him. But baseball was a teacher of perseverance. Baseball is the biggest sport of failure, right? So it's such a humbling sport. It's such a teacher. So baseball, and I coached it for many years, helped me teach him a lot about failure in life, how to have a short memory, how to persevere, how to not give up. So he became a pretty decent little league player, and then he started playing travel, and he was not one of the better players on the travel team, but he was decent. We get to 12 years old. So, 12 years old now is the peak year. That's the Little League World Series. When you go up to Cooperstown, that's when you grow into the smaller field before you jump to the bigger field, right? So it's the peak of your youth career. 12 years old, he had a really tough year. He had a big, huge slump in his travel summer. He was benched for the playoffs, but we had the Cooperstown trip coming up. We did play in the Little League World Series. We won the district, lost in the sectionals. He struggled bad. And I thought, well, if we go up to Cooperstown, this will be it. I'll play in Cooperstown and he won't play anymore. Because I always felt like it was more my thing, whereas football kind of was more his thing. He played that more willingly. So we go up to Cooperstown and we get there. Now he's been benched for the playoffs. I don't know if he's going to play baseball after this. We go into the batting cages down by Doubleday Field, right, which is the first baseball field ever built. And he fouls a freaking ball in the batting cage just before the first day of the tournament off his left eye. And his left eye busts open. I got to rush him to CVS. I'm putting glue stitching on it. I'm disinfecting it. His eye's swelling. So now he's going to have to play this tournament almost with one eye, right? So he gets you off of the tournament. He's struggling. And I'm thinking, God, is baseball going to be over eventually? So a game comes along. He gets up to bat. I guess, Moose, you could run the video now.
All right.
This is that bat. This isn't that bat he had in Cooperstown. Let's watch it. You heard the story before it. I'm sitting there down the third baseline. I'm thinking, first strike out. Here we go. And so home run.
Nice.
That right there, that changed his entire life. I'm telling you that right now. You saw those kids jump out of that dugout. They all said that was their favorite moment of the tournament when he hit that home run. And what I love about that video is when you see the pitcher turn around, drop to his knees, and watch the ball go. And his best friend was at second base, and you see his best friend hold his arm up like this. I mean, that moment changed everything for him because then he was like, maybe I'll play on the big field. Maybe I'll continue this. And it became his obsession, became his thing. Now he's got to drag me out to practice where I used to have to drag him out to practice. Now he's going to college.
Big adrenaline boost.
Yeah. Now he's going to college recruiting showcases. It became his life.
That's cool.
You know, so that whole moment was such a turning point, you know, in his life. And one of his friends went into the woods, got the ball and everything. So he got that stamped. So
that's
just
like a
everything.
big high feeling, man. Once you achieve that high, you want to keep trying to go for it, you know.
Yeah,
That's
he got
awesome.
addicted to it from there. And then you know how their bodies changed, and all of a sudden he became one of the stronger kids and everything like that. And some other kids kind of fell off.
Nice.
So that was such a great moment with him. And like I said, that sport's so humbling. He plays football too. He's a long snapper for varsity as a sophomore, linebacker as well. So, but he's also, like somebody had said earlier, like it's the academics, it's the person that they are. The fact that I know he's a good citizen outside here, he's an asshole in the house to me a lot of times, right? But sometimes they're little assholes. But when I hear good things about what they're doing out there, he's not an asshole out there. I'm like, well, that's awesome. You know, same thing with my daughter. And my daughter, she did get the basketball thing from me. Like, so she's a great shooter. And I never really knew that. I kind of threw her in basketball. And she winds up winning all these district shooting tournaments and stuff like that. And she got a nickname, Sienna the Assassin, because of how good of a basketball shooter she is. But she's really good at basketball, but really doesn't really care much about it. She's more of a dancer, you know. So we'll see as she goes older if she gets into it. But he was sort of the opposite. He had to work so much harder, you know, for what he achieved, you know. But she's so young that we'll see where she goes to the basketball thing. But the dance thing is her thing.
That gives them
But like
perseverance, though, and they got to work harder for it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I just think that, you know, it's just that, you know, they're a good person outside of the house. That's the main thing, you know.
Exactly.
So that's what I wanted to talk about.
It's awesome, man.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah, and I remember when you sent me that video, I watched it. You get I'm not even my damn kid. I'm like, oh, it's all fucking awesome. That's you get the chills in your body. You get, you know, because it's like as a parent, even though it's just the athletic side, you're proud, and and then you're more proud of the people they become outside of that, and that's and
to see everybody else's reaction to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was almost in tears. I had to really hold myself back from just being crying
Oh
in front
yeah.
of everybody at the baseball field. That was
Yeah.
like I'd say at that age it was a 220-foot shot, which is pretty far. It was that was the Green Monster Field too, so it was no joke of a
Okay.
shot either, you know. So
Mm.
I mean, there's kids that go
And
up
at
there and hit
Cooperstown.
10 home runs,
Yeah.
but that one was so special to him.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Ant.
Thanks, guys.
Are
Thanks
we,
for
are we,
listening.
are we going to get a special guest here, or is
No, special guest. I'll tell you a funny story because she's now got the virus too. So I said to her earlier, I said,
Oh
you're going to
man.
make a special guest appearance tonight on the show as Sienna the Psychic because she does some of my Anox in the shops with me. And she's like, what? And I'm like, oh, you're not going to do it because of your headache? She's like, I was never going to do it.
I love those videos, by the way, dude. You need to do more. I love them. They're
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. She
Yeah.
likes doing those things. She hams it up on
Yeah.
those things. So.
Oh,
She's
the
a
one
little
she did with little
annoying.
Mikey. The one she did with little Mikey was great.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
awesome.
great.
And she was calling little Mikey out. Yeah, she went hard in on little Mikey, man. Yeah, but
That
that's
was
what
great.
somebody was saying it earlier. I think Dubs had mentioned the time and how fast it goes. So, like, middle age is tough, man. I lost my father recently, and again, like the way he took that video of that home run around and he showed everybody how proud he was of that,
Yeah.
And then I don't have my little buddy's son anymore. So it's like I lost my little buddy and I lost my dad. And I'm sort of floating here in the middle, But she's still
Yeah.
my little buddy now. Will still do those things with me. So, and she's 11, so it's the time's flying, man. So things change. I love them for who they are now,
I'm
but
going to tell you, as
it's
somebody that's raised three boys and three girls, it's always harder when girls become teens as a dad.
yeah.
There's just so much more you got to watch out for.
Oh man, and she's a tween
Mm.
now, I guess you would call it. So she's
Yeah.
only got 2 years till a
Yeah.
teenage. So I told my wife I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old to be coming into it now, having a teenage daughter now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's luckily my daughter was busy, so she didn't get involved in that whole thing. But
And that's a key thing. That's a key thing. I think keep busy.
Yeah. All right, Dubs. Let's hear it.
So yeah, man, I was sitting around
Let me
today
know when to
trying
show the picture, bud.
you can go ahead. You can go ahead and
Okay.
show it.
All right.
Yeah. So I was sitting around today thinking about what I was going to say today, man, and I had something else kind of planned, but three things kept coming to mind about like the advice that I would give my sons or just any new dad. And of course I got two boys, one's 17, one's 20. The youngest is finishing up high school.
The
And
youngest only looks like you.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the oldest one, he's about to finish up college and start his adult journey. But
He's rocking the scally there.
yeah,
All
the
right.
youngest one, man, he's got his own collection so far. He's
Oh,
got
nice.
mostly
All right.
Boston Scallies, but he's into the cap game like me. The other
Nice.
one, man, he has no interest in caps, so not feeling it there. But I was thinking about, my advice to them or just any new dad, and three things kept coming to mind, and that was time moves fast, and it will be gone in a blink of an eye. And I know from the time that I took my youngest son home or my oldest son home from the hospital to now, dude, those chapters are gone forever.
Yeah.
And, it's something that I'll never get to experience again. It kind of pulls on my heartstrings, but uh,
You
I'm
get to experience
thankful.
them a little bit as a grandparent if you
Yeah,
get grandkids.
yeah, exactly. And I'm excited to see them move forward as adults. But a little bit of me's was like Ant talking about. You'll never get to see, the little kids do their Halloween and all that. But I don't know, man. It's emotional, but that opens up time, which puts me in a weird position now because all that time I have to fill with, new things like my wife. I'm able to spend more time with her. So
Yes.
there's
Yes.
it's kind of I'm trying to figure out my place right now. It's kind of a weird little transition for myself growing older. So, but number two is you don't have to be perfect, just be present. And
Yes.
you don't have to give them, all the material things, anything like that. Just give them your time, put the phone down, say no to your job, to your boss sometimes, do the things at their school, just be present. And I know for myself, some of my greatest moments were with my dad. He bought 8 acres of land we were going to build a house on. And me being out there with him, helping him clear land, the chainsaw, the sawdust, just being a part of that, dude. I'll cherish those moments forever. And it was so simple, dude. The canoeing trips, things like that. So just be present. And last is let your children fail. Let them make mistakes. Uh, I was bad in the beginning about picking my kids up and carrying them across the finish line, but it didn't help them. It didn't help me. And it's
Mhm.
dang sure not going to help the society that they're living in, when you have adults that don't know how to function like that. So,
Yep.
but yeah, man, other than that, my son, he's finishing up college. He's going to be a funeral director. And actually, he wants to get into natural ways, natural burials and things like that. So he wants to
I'd like
start
to
his
do
own
that.
business. He wants to start his own business with that. So that's pretty unique. And he'll
I always
always have
hate
a
the
job
toxic
because
pickle idea.
yeah, he'll always have a job, man, because everybody kicks the bucket. So he's got job
Absolutely.
security. So yeah,
Absolutely.
always there, bro.
Always got a
So
Yeah, man.
clientele there.
yeah,
I always think it's
but
good to go back to the earth. They pump you full of formaldehyde and all those toxic chemicals. You mean you're
it's really not
yeah,
needed.
it's gross,
No,
man.
it's
I would
not.
just rather decompose and become one
Yeah.
with the soil,
Yeah.
or be cremated if I can't do that.
And
Yeah,
my
my
And now,
youngest
family's
now
the
when you
same
son,
say
way.
my
when you say
youngest
like
son,
natural, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
he took after me, man. He's musically inclined. He's
Nice.
got all that skill. So my other one, my oldest son, he's not like that. So they're quite a bit different. And that kind of takes me back to when they were little too, man. I was very protective of my oldest son, my firstborn. And then the second one comes along and he's doing backflips off the porch, and I'm like, he'll bounce back, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
So you,
it's
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
You watch over each one progressively
yeah,
less and
yeah,
less.
Progressively
yeah.
less. Yeah.
The youngest one,
Yeah.
man, he was just out there pretty much about to kill himself. I'm like,
Yeah.
he'll be fine. Yeah, but yeah,
That's funny. So true though. Although
yeah,
not in my case, because the girl's different,
yeah,
I
yeah,
watch over her more, so I
yeah.
guess it depends.
But yeah, man, just my advice to young fathers: put the phone down, stay involved, and just be part of their lives, man. It's really that simple. So yeah,
100%,
yeah.
100%. Now I got a question. You said something about natural funerals or whatever it might be.
Natural
Is that
burial.
is that like what's the guy's name from 90210? We
It's
got
like when
buried
you
in the
bury your
mushroom
dog
suit.
in your backyard. You don't pump the body full of any chemicals or
Yeah.
anything. You just put it in the
Basically, it's
ground.
just other ways not using formaldehyde and things
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, okay.
They have parks that, you can bury your people under trees and,
Yeah.
just all kinds of different stuff. So
That's
it's
interesting. I didn't really know that.
more of a natural setting.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that guy's name that died recently from 90210? Dylan?
I
Uh,
know his name on the show was Luke Perry. Luke
Luke
Perry.
Luke
Perry.
Yeah,
Perry.
Luke Perry.
Yeah.
Because he got
Yeah.
buried in some kind of suit that is it speeds up the decomposing process.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's called
Oh,
like a
wow.
mushroom suit or something like that.
Huh.
Jesus, I never heard of any of this stuff.
I didn't
It
know
must
that.
be full of spores or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Mycelium
way you
spores.
decompose it with the earth quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Not my cup of tea, but like
They
I
used to
said,
bury people sometimes, and then they would plant a tree above them, and then the tree basically feeds
yeah.
off of the body as it grows. And the thought
Right.
Yeah.
would be that the tree, basically has part of you in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That's pretty
goes
cool.
Which is
to
kind of a cool thought.
he goes to a school in Nashville, Tennessee called John A. Gumpton Funeral School, and it's a very well known one. And he's about to wrap it up, so I'm proud
Nice,
of him. Yeah,
nice.
Now, will he come back to you, Dubs, or will he stay in Nashville?
dude, he bought a little we fixed up a little tiny home out here out beside my house, and he's got a
Oh, man, I
little
love those things.
little cabin out here, man. So
Yeah.
he's living it up right now, dude, and he's got it all paid
Nice.
for. So right now he's just gonna going to bank some money, work, and have a good time for the time being.
I love
So,
watching those tiny home videos on YouTube.
yeah,
There's some pretty cool ones. Some of the
Yeah.
ones
They're
made out
awesome.
of shipping containers are kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, I put insulation in that mug, and that's a job I never want to do again. It sucks, so I
Itchy.
don't recommend that. So yeah, yeah.
Well, those
Yeah,
are awesome
that
stories.
insulation can be itchy as hell.
Oh man, it sucks, dude.
When
It
I was a
sucks.
kid, when I was a kid, just real quick, my mom had had an affair on my dad and had divorced him and married the other guy, and my dad got custody of me, and so later on, I used to be forced to go to my mom's house for visitation because I didn't want to. I was loyal to my dad, but I was forced to do this, and because I was such an angry, rotten kid, I took pink insulation and I rubbed it all over the crotch of my mom's husband's underwear.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, I can't
That's
even
fucking
imagine
awesome.
how horrible that must have been. But yeah.
Dude, that's freaking awesome, bro.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
I
really
wasn't
leave any
expecting
trace,
that.
but it leaves all that fiberglass
Yeah.
all over there. So I'm sure it
Yeah.
covered his feet and
Fiberglass.
everything with that.
Say,
Yeah.
Holy
take a little
shit, man.
fiberglass,
Oh, she
dude.
probably blamed the guy.
It was
that
my
she
way of
saw
getting
something.
even.
You're a legend for that shit.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
that's like Revenge of the Nerds putting the ornament in the
Yeah.
jock
Yeah.
straps.
Yeah, it's probably worse than the Bengay though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She,
definitely.
She was probably bitching at the other guy, like, "What'd you give me?"
yeah.
Oh,
Christ.
another thing about the tiny house, man, is my dad helped me, so it's kind of cool getting to see my dad and my son,
Yeah.
and me all work together. So that was a pretty cool project, man.
Nice.
In fact, I couldn't have done it without my dad, dude. He's more of a handyman than I am. He's from the old school, knows all the old tricks and all
Yeah, my
that.
dad too. I mean, my dad pretty
Yeah.
much built this place with his bare hands. I mean, I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you, everywhere I look.
Nice.
Not my dad.
For some
No.
reason, I didn't get that skill set. So I mean,
I was just that dude stuffing the insulation, bro. Just
Yeah.
tell me what to do,
Getting yelled at because you couldn't hold the flashlight long.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Underneath the
Cursed
hood.
that and shit.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything right,
Oh man, but yeah,
Uh.
that Chad, I wasn't expecting that. That was a surprise. That was a good surprise.
That
Yeah,
was a big story.
That's definitely a highlight clip for the show, man. The
Yeah,
crotch.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure that'll come up there.
Yeah.
All right, now well, I hope everybody's joining tonight's show. I mean, we went by a lot quicker than I thought it was going to go.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Is anybody
I guess we'll go
watching?
around.
I didn't see you put up any comments. Is anybody watching?
yeah, there's
I saw Cisco say- Cisco said-
it's crickets in the audience. It's just us
Yeah.
talking to each other.
Cisco said something cool because he said we're gonna have that experience again with our grandkids. That was a cool.
Yeah,
I was
right.
thinking in
Yeah.
that, and then he
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah.
If we're
And-
blessed enough to have grandkids, obviously.
and he just commented, he's like, I tune in to hear the Cap Show to hear about the latest mushroom burial
Mushroom
technology.
burial technology. That's awesome. You know what?
Yeah.
Regardless, I wanted to do this show. I thought it would be great for us to
Yeah.
get to know each other. But it's just, I don't even care who watches this. But I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it as well. I mean, it's like I said, we're getting to know each other more and more on a personal level rather than just GRT level. And,
Right.
Yeah.
We're now we know we got goals. Actually, before we leave here, before we start saying our final thoughts, I was talking about, like after my daughter grew up, and I was like, I literally told my wife, I was like, I'm going to have to learn to love you again. We are actually taking our first trip together next month of just her and I in probably 25 years.
Oh,
It's always either involved my daughter or going to Disney or whatever it might be. And
Yeah.
so we're going to take a week and go, we're going to go to Colorado and Utah. And she
Yeah.
wants to do some shopping and I want to do some hiking. I told her, I was like, I promise I won't do any more hikes over a mile because she can't stand doing that, but I can't stand shopping. So I was like, we got to give into it a little bit here. So,
Hey, I got to say one thing to Ed, man. The picture that you put up of him and his family, the transition that I saw from then to now is amazing, dude. You're looking good, dude. I can tell all the hard work. So
You too,
Thank you.
Dubs. I noticed that from other post pictures you put up.
Yeah.
Same thing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're splitting it up a
Yeah.
lot. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats,
I
homie.
Sure. Thank you.
appreciate it, man.
Well, yeah, not only Ed, but what about Dubs? Dubs is looking like he went from being
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
lineman
that's
to a
what we were just
linebacker, and
saying.
now he's got the quarterback physique.
So we
I'm
just said
getting there, man. I got a lot of
linebacker to
work to do,
quarterback. Yeah.
but I got a
Better
lot of
watch
work to
out. You
do,
lose
but
too much weight, your hats aren't going to fit you.
I
You
know,
getting
man.
there.
I'm really worried about that, actually.
I had that
I'm
problem.
already there. I'm already
Yeah.
there.
You have to get some hand
Yeah.
sizers.
Yeah. I'm really worried about that because I got quite a few, man. That's going to suck. But
You
I'll be
have to
getting me some
start.
of
You have to
those.
start watching my videos on how to shrink them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody have any final words or final thoughts? Any final things you want to say?
I definitely do.
Good.
So this is piggybacking off of you, Moose, and pointed towards Brandon. Now that, like, for example, like I said, my daughters are 19 and 21. They're in their own world. They have their own car. They're friends. They go out. They work. They do everything on their own. And my
Yeah.
wife and I find ourselves where it's just us now, right?
Hmm.
We've always had the tradition of, once a month going on a date night, and when they were younger, it was harder to do because we
Yeah.
either have to like drop them off at my mother-in-law's house or something, find babysitting just to make that time to like go out for dinner, drinks, whatever the case was. And then there was a while where we weren't going on, dates on our own. And something that's important to maintain marriage or relationship is to continue dating your spouse, right? Because before the kids were there, it was just the two of you, no matter how long that was. And you always
Yeah.
have to kind of stay on top of that so you don't lose touch.
Yeah.
And now with the kids being the age that they are, we find ourselves now. It's like, for example, we'll go on these, we call it day dates, right? Like we'll go to, like, my wife and I will go to the gym. After the gym, we'll go grab coffee, like a pastry or something at this bakery we like in town. And after that, like, we'll come home, shower, change. Oh, let's go run our errands, right? We'll go do groceries. We'll go do whatever needs to be done, right? Like just the other day, we went to a nursery in Holtzville, actually, a little close to you, and we stocked up on plants, right? Something we saw a meme online that said, nobody tells you that when you're an adult, you're gonna spend $600 on dirt and you're gonna like it. So, so all of a sudden, like, part of our day, we went to a nursery, we bought plants and we bought soil and all this stuff. I'm like, this is fun. And
Yeah.
after that, we're like, all right, let's go have lunch. So we sat down and had lunch. And by the time we got home, the girls were like, "Where have you guys been all day?" Like, well, we're just out and about. What were you guys doing? Oh, we did X, Y, and Z. Like, we still come home together and see each other and get to,
Yeah.
like, something very
That's good.
important, like the whole putting the phones down. Like, we always sit down at the dinner table every night. We catch up on our day. Phones get put aside and stuff. But
That's great,
it's,
man.
brand is something you're definitely gonna learn. If you're not learning it now, it's very important. Date your spouse, spend as much
Yeah.
time together as possible because the kids are going to be out the picture and it's just going to be the two of you and find out what's the next thing. Go on a trip,
Yeah.
do different things. Like, we haven't planned any trips without the girls, but we already talked about, like, all right, because of course my daughters are all like, hey, don't go planning trips without us.
Yeah.
Right? They still
See,
want to be involved and stuff.
I need to do what you guys do. We need to do like gym dates because what we do is we go out to eat because that's what we're good at.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't need I don't need to be doing all that anymore. So I'm gonna have to find some new things to get into.
Listen,
We've got our own gym in the garage, and we just go out there
Yeah,
every morning together.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you mix it
that
up.
is
Like, so,
great.
but,
Yeah,
my wife and I are actually training for a fitness competition, and we're going to Boston in October. Right? So we have to run 8 kilometers. We have to do 8 different workout stations, and it's all time based. So the days that we're not at the gym, we actually go to either a park nearby or a track, and we're running, right? Just to
yeah,
train and stuff. And this is something like it's become, and like when you guys mentioned like the transition and the change,
yeah,
fitness has become a part of our life. It's not even like a burden, like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. Like, no, I'm
No,
going to
it's
the gym.
just it has to happen.
It's
yeah,
just a part of it. Today was the first rest day we've had in a week. It was because literally we both woke up this morning and I was like, it's literally been 5 days nonstop between running and the workouts. We haven't had a rest day. So this morning we actually slept in till 6 a.m. as opposed to being up at 5 at the gym and stuff. And it was like, all right, cool. We got to rest, chill. Tomorrow we're right back at it.
I've been
That's what
sick.
Cisco
I've been,
mentioned grandkids, man, and that I mean
yeah,
that's the perfect way to make sure you're around to see your grandkids. So
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
it's
He
a
just put
double
something
win.
in my head about how,
Yeah,
he had just saw a 9-year-old through his little league. For me to see my grandson through a little league season, if that ever happens to me, that's just remarkable to think about. What's ahead of you or in your future? There's major
Absolutely.
players in our lives that we don't even know yet. You know,
yeah,
son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws. I mean, Moose is at that point, but in-laws, things like that that we don't even know yet, like grandkids. So that's kind of incredible to think about. So, and like I've been sick the last couple of days, and the 2 days I haven't been able to go to the gym, it sucks, bro. I got to get back there, bro. Like, I mean, you don't want to get back too early after being sick, but it really sucks. And
yeah,
that's a great thing that you're so addicted to it that you just got to go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
That's what's nice about having my own place here is I don't have any excuse to not do it. Even if
Yeah.
I'm not feeling well, I can still go out there and not worry about getting anyone sick or anything.
Yeah. But I mean, they say
Yeah.
you're supposed to rest, though. I mean, I'm at the point where
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go back tomorrow, though.
But
I'm going
I
to go back
could go
tomorrow.
out there and stretch or do something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and not
I
push
did
it
a
hard.
couple,
And you,
couple
you
of
got a
things.
great setup in your garage, Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we got
Look,
I've been collecting that stuff for 40, 50 years. So over
this
time,
is
you get a
this
pretty
is
good
the
collection.
transition into a new fitness show, man. So
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
play
Ah,
up
you
to
guys ever
this.
want to talk about that? I've been doing that my whole life.
Have
Yeah,
Moose as Richard Simmons again, Do
That
that.
was one thing with all my sons. I used to get them up early in the morning before school, about 6:30, and we'd work out together for about an hour before they go to school. And if you see what my youngest son looks like, he's jacked from a whole lifetime of doing that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I tried to instill that wanting to exercise every day and make
Yeah.
it a regular part of your life. And then when they were young, and for most of them, that stuck with them, and I'm happy to see that.
Well, you're saying you
Yeah.
were like that your whole life. I wasn't like that my whole life.
Well, it's
I
because
started.
I went
I
through
started.
puberty late. I was like 5'2",
Yeah.
110 pounds in ninth grade, and I went to a pretty rough
Yeah.
neighborhood in school in that, and so I started exercising as just a way to protect myself and also doing martial arts and that because I just wasn't the kid that was going to back down, and so for me it was it wasn't more for the way I looked. It was always just. I always consider your body your first line of defense. And so I just always wanted to be in the best shape possible for that time when somebody was going to test me or try to push me around in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
For me, over the last few years, it's been more of a midlife crisis thing. So, but it's good because my son sees that it's my obsession now. So he's piggybacking off that and being on the football
Well,
team. He gets the weightlifting from them.
I would
So
advise
he's really into
exercise
it now.
with him, man. Stick that.
I do. Yeah, he comes to the
that's
gym with me, works out with me,
That's
works
awesome.
out with his
That's awesome.
teams. So he's jacked now too. I mean, he's probably 200 pounds now. He's 5'8". So
That's nice.
but I could tell that it's going to be his thing for probably forever, where it wasn't for me.
But that is such a good life habit to put into them because
Yeah.
your health is your wealth, and especially the older you get, the more important it gets to have some type of regular exercise program.
Right.
And that after age 35, a man, if you're not exercising, drops about 2 pounds of muscle a year, and that's replaced by fat. And that's why strength training, the older and older you get, is more and more important.
That's why I'm glad he's
I mean-
he's using me now as an example rather than what I was like in my 20s, which is just
I gotta up my game with the strength training, man. That's something I need
Hey,
to
brother,
focus
man,
more
you
on.
ever want any advice or anything like that? I can tell you all kinds of stuff you can do just with body weight calisthenics, weights, whatever you have available. I'm always happy to help you with that. I have a big background in that, so.
My
Joey
only,
Penn was saying
my
martial
only
arts. Right?
experience with that was I did P90X, man, back in the day, and
Oh,
it
man.
just about killed me, dude. So, but
Yeah, the thing is body weight calisthenics are awesome. You just don't have to
Yeah.
push yourself that hard on that stuff. You're better off keeping it more of an even keel and something you can stick with over the long run instead of just hitting it hard for a couple of months and then getting burnt out.
yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
cool.
All right.
You don't want to get me talking about that stuff because I'll just run out of it.
It's another
All right,
show, man.
Any final words from anybody else?
Yeah, so I mean, I remember when my Aunt Rose passed, she was like a grandmother to me. She passed away right as my son was born. So I was talking to her on the phone as she was passing away, and she just said the joy that you're going to experience with your son. So when you said one word, I thought of joy with parenthood, and then the rewarding thing to me is just being able to look at my kids, know I created them, seeing how beautiful they are, and knowing that that's not an accident, So looking at them, I see God, I see that could not be an accident. That could not be a random thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's
And you know what
my
else?
final word on parenthood.
You know what else, man? The less that they need you shows that you have done your job as a parent. So I mean,
Yeah,
that is, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
100%. All right. Well, it was a great episode. And again, make those memories, guys, because they grow up quick, and then you have to look for future, like with grandkids, or what Chad's going through now. And I mean, you're gonna be busy with grandkids, and you're gonna be able to relive a portion of that back, be able to see them believe in Santa Claus again, and all the other stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
So before we go next week, we got the America 250 episode. So
nice.
We're gonna have guests on, and I'm not gonna say who. That'll be a surprise at the show, almost like the Boston Scally episode. But we're gonna have 5 guests, and we're gonna have a member of each branch of the military represented on the show, and they're all community members that everybody knows. Obviously, a big episode for Chad too. Going to be mostly cap based. We're going to be talking about our favorite patriotic caps and military caps, but anything else these guys want to share, it's an open table as well.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Thank you, gentlemen, again for everything you guys do for GRT and keeping it going. And we couldn't do this alone. So thanks again for everybody.
Thanks
again for watching, everybody.
Thanks for coming on, Ed.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
hanging out with us.
Appreciate everybody watching.
All right. Have a great night now.
Take care.
Bye.
Hanging by the door were a dozen old caps, some faded, some looking brand new. One came down for fishing at sunrise, one for a hard day's work to do. One came down for backyard football, one for Sunday's family ride. Back then they were just hats on a hook, now I see the man inside. Some were stained by sweat and hard work, some were weathered by the years. Some carried laughter through the good times, some carried burdens through the tears. I thought they were just caps hanging by the door. Now I know they represented every role my father wore. Some were worn thin, some were worn proud, but everyone belonged to the man who showed me how.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, son.